everyone. Let us stand and we'll have a prayer and then the Pledge of Allegiance. Dear wise and loving Father, thank you on behalf of all of us who are gathered here today. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of serving the community. I pray you give us wisdom to govern, a sense of the true needs of our residents, confidence in what is good and fitting, the ability to work together in harmony. I pray for the agenda set before us tonight. Please give an assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in and around our village of Hicksville. It is in your most blessed name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Roll call, please.
McCratsky.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Beverly.
Here.
Edwards.
Here.
Baker.
Here.
Clark.
Here.
Thank you, Cheryl. You have the minutes from the August 15th council meeting in your packet. I would entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I move we approve the minutes as written.
I would second.
Jones made the motion. Headley seconded. Roll call, please.
Baker.
Yes.
Beverly.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Edwards.
Yes.
McCratsky.
Yes.
Thank you. You also had in your packet the approved bills list. Are there any questions about it?
The only question that I had was Andrew Rep. That was, I would assume, for some computer work that he was working on?
And for the website.
Okay.
I suppose there's a reason it was charged to water. Okay. Oh, I know what it is. Thank you.
For, on the streetlights in Industrial Park, there's none up. How are you billing us?
Spiker.
Yeah.
He did the dirt work for both the street lights and the sign work. The 6800s. Yeah, I had to keep it straight. Yeah, the street work that he is doing in preparation for the lights was the 6800. The other was site work for the signs. He's for
Wow.
28.
no, it's reversed. I tell you. Too many things on the brain. I think the 6800's for the signs. The 28,000 is what he did for.
Is that the
Street
underground or
lights.
something?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I say, it says street lights, Industrial Drive, and there are no lights up there, or poles, or nothing.
No, that's supposed to be getting wrapped up here fairly shortly. I talked to Sean this afternoon.
Nobody has anything else, then we pray to approve the bills. Pam?
Second.
Roll call, please.
McCratsky.
Yes.
Edwards.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Baker.
Yes.
Beverly.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
You have in your packet minutes from the Planning Commission meeting held on August 18th. Hopefully you had a chance to read those. They they approved the zoning change on Antwerp Drive.
It's up to us to vote on it though, correct?
Yeah, I bring an ordinance to the next, today's the public hearing that we have to have in this chamber, and then at the next meeting, I'll bring an ordinance and it'll be voted up or down.
Since the public hearing, this was not advertised as a public hearing tonight,
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. It does say that on the agenda. Okay. All right, you'll bring legislation then to the next meeting? Okay, thank you. Then you have the HIX-TV committee minutes. You have the revolving
For a
loan.
public hearing, do people get an opportunity to speak?
I don't know if anybody's here for that.
Had at least a couple.
Okay,
Jim's here.
yep. Just forget how to do it in the spot at the table.
No, we forgot.
So, yeah, we'll call the hearing to order for the Antwerp Drive zoning change. Is there anyone present that wants to speak on that matter? Would you please take the podium and state your name, please, for the record?
My name is Dawn Ish, and I live on Antwerp Drive. And I've been trying to do a little bit of research, and I would really like to see the rezoning of that held up until we can tell whether or not the new sewer system is going to work, because it's the neighbors' concerns and my concerns that this system's going to there's going to be a house or condominiums built on there, and the sewer system will work, but maybe not as best, and we're all still going to get flooded out. So our concern is that it be postponed until know if it's going to work or not. And I know Mr. Slattery's trying to get rid of his land, but we don't want to get flooded out. That's my thing on it.
How do you feel one more house is gonna do that?
Because if they build another house there, it's going to raise the elevation of that land. And right now, it's kind of like this, so the water stays right there in that area. Now, if they were to build a house there and say they want to build a basement or any kind of land movement, it's going to build that up and it's going to push all that water over to the neighbor's house. And
That's what we have the zoning guy for, isn't it?
No.
What Mike
no,
does?
No. I mean, he should be making sure that the level of the land isn't changed, but we haven't had much luck with that. Obviously, you can tell down in Hick Street.
Well, there's one other.
I asked Mike to start shooting a grade whenever anyone pulls a building permit for a house.
That's a great idea.
That was in that group of things that we passed
It's already been
5,
established.
6, 8 years ago that I
Yeah.
dreamed of.
And other than the Hick Street mistake, I don't think you can go point it anywhere else.
And I don't think you can completely say that's a mistake down there.
Well, no, but I'm just saying.
If you take houses that are sitting 3 foot below the road and set one over here that's a foot below the road, makes things look pretty distorted.
Yeah.
But
I'd make a, go ahead, when you're done, I'll make a comment.
there's been a couple of different houses that have been built on there and within 10 years or so, and it's changed the water down there dramatically. I know where Snells live, there was a house built right there, and that house got raised up, and then the old guys who used to live there, their whole area completely flooded out, and that never used to flood again until that house got built in there. And I just don't want to see it happen. And my poor neighbor lady, she's pretty upset, and she feels like we kind of let her down. She doesn't want to get flooded out. So, and I would like to see it actually turned into a park. And I've been looking up different ways of applying for grants and keeping it kind of a green area for the community. So that was my idea for it.
I know our committee's talked about that property for a long time. We've talked to the owners, we've talked to the property owners, we've talked to people in Oak Park. I mean, it's been an issue for a long time. We're looking at doing something different that costs a lot more money with flood control. We're steering away from that, doing storm and sanitary separation, you know that. In that area, when we looked at that, we asked for more drainage in the storm line, and it's a huge storm line, 3 foot. 40, I think it's, what do you say, 48? 42. So it's large. There are extra catch basins in that area because that's the natural flow of the water.
Right.
Okay, it's going to drop right in that storm, go back around everybody's property and head to the creek. And that was developed on certain rain events, okay? Hopefully it's the plan was to catch a lot of that water when it decides to cross the street, go into that area, okay? If it rains more than what they predicted or what they built for, you will get flooded.
Yeah.
That's just nature of the, when you
Right,
spend
but
the
if that
time
gets
on it.
changed to residential though, and they change the
The
label
water's coming,
plan,
yeah, I understand that. The water's coming that way anyway. You know that. If there's a house there, my concern was building the house up too high and pushing water onto the neighbors, and that is an issue, absolutely.
And that's.
So, and
what
that was
happened.
addressed with the owners of the property, that because of the situation with that small lot, that lot right there, you better watch what you're doing and how you're doing it, because you're gonna have all kinds of upset people around you, and I don't think they'd wanna do that.
Right, oh, I know that.
Well, if it wasn't zoned residential, you wouldn't have to worry about it. This board would not have to worry about it. That water is still gonna go through County Hostetler's property before it reaches any drains whatsoever. And her property floods from the back forward. My next door neighbor, I watch what happens. I understand the plan, and I think getting rid of that water, evacuating that water before it gets up to the road, once it gets to the highway, it backs up on Connie even further, and I agree that this is going to evacuate a whole bunch of that water, and I think it's going to be effective. My concern is, we're jumping the gun. This should not be done. There should be no rezoning until we see if that plan actually works. If it actually works, I'm going to welcome it. I know Jim wants done with this thing, and I agree with him, and I'm sure the issues and Connie would too, but right now, we're not there yet. We don't know if this is going to work or not.
But what if it rains 4 inches in a given 3-hour period of time, the water comes rushing through there, the drains catch it, okay? And push it away, but it doesn't flood you guys and Connie and everybody, okay? You're gonna be okay to have a house built there then? How would that change your thinking? You
A
said
house, maybe not condominiums.
If that water evacuates like it's planned, I think I'm going to support it.
I don't think you've seen the last set of prints, Mick. There's not that much of that runoff that's going into this sewer system.
Well, whatever is going to be stopped by the highway being higher than the yards, that's going to go into the system, I believe. But I don't know. I mean, that's why I'm saying, why are we changing anything until we see if the plan actually works?
And the biggest problem is going to be, if it's approved, Jim gets it sold, somebody builds a house, the first time it floods, they're going to knock on Jim's door. Jim's going to go, I sold it. They're going to come up here and go, what are you, the village, going to do about this? And we're not going to do anything, so it's going to be bad.
Just to,
Say we bought it, and I'm not against the park, so I don't take it that way. I'm a pessimist, so I try to bring up stuff for people.
Yeah.
Say we buy and put a park in, wouldn't that be kind of dumb? Kind of wash away?
Be like Kingsbury Park and.
Well, I'm just saying.
Now, come on, now there's 6 feet of water.
Well, yeah, it's not like, but I'm just saying, wouldn't that be the same scenario, that we'd end up washing our park out?
well, I'll tell you what, the zoning hearing process has begun, and so the next step, unless Troy corrects me otherwise, is for him to bring legislation. You have 2 more weeks to gather your facts and make your decision of how you feel about it, and we'll start the readings, and we
Well, you
will...
guys vote on, it'll have to be an emergency, because if you remember, the time frame in there is it has to be approved or denied within 20 days or something. So once we have this hearing, we have to do something on it at the next meeting.
Okay, any other questions? Yeah. Okay, Don, thank you for coming and voicing your opinion. We'll have Jim come up, and you can state your name for the record, and we can hear what you have to say.
My name's Jim Slattery, and I own the lot that you're talking about. Mick said that we should wait, the neighbor said we should wait for 25 years. The plan is to take care of the water for 25 years. I gotta wait 25 years before we have that rain that's going to go over what the new system's gonna take. So I gotta set on my lot for 25 years, or whenever that 25-year rain comes, before the lot is changed, because the neighbors don't want a house in that lot. They're putting, according to the new system, they're putting a culvert on the north side of Vic's property. They're also putting one on the south side or the north side of our lot. They're putting another one on the south side of our lot, in between Connie and I. They're also using the culvert that is in front of Connie's lot. They're going to hook that into it. also they're putting another one in front of what the city owns. And so there's going to be 5 culverts in that area. The elevation in that area, mix elevation on his lot is 745 feet. Going into our lot is 744 and a half feet. Between half of my lot and Connie's lot is 744 feet. The water is going to run between Connie and I on a natural flow right now. There is a little bit of water that runs between Mick's property and our property because there's a natural swale from the plowing of that field. Most of the water runs between Connie and I when it builds up at the street so it can get over the sidewalk, then that's when the flooding starts or the high water starts. And I can't see that I have to wait 25 years once the system's in before I can get approval for changing my land from agriculture to residential. The neighbor across the street recommends that we put a park. If she wants a park in, the neighbors can go together. I'll sell them the lot as a park. Or I'll sell the lot to the neighbors that, without it being zoned, and not be zoned, and then they can control what's going to happen on that lot. So I'm just saying, I don't feel it's fair that you feel I should have to wait once the system's in and wait till we get a big rain to test it out to see if it's going to carry all that water.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Slavy? Okay.
Thanks, Jim.
Well, in a couple of weeks, we'll have a vote in the first reading, so thank you for coming. Anybody else? All right. We'll conclude that public hearing. So going on, I think, to safely to go on to minutes right now. You have in the packet a HIX-TV committee minutes, revolving loan committee minutes, park board.
On that revolving loan, you want to make a correction to that employee?
Well, I never heard the right numbers, but I do know that in the third paragraph of the revolving loan committee minutes, it says there are 4 employees and expect to add 8, but I'm pretty sure that I was told. Do you know the right numbers?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
They've got 18 employees now, not 4. Agreed. I didn't think of it till I got here. I forgot to write it down. I think they're retaining 8 and adding 4 with the expand.
So they're gonna lose 4 or 6, whatever that is.
Or 10. If they got 18 now, they're gonna get rid of 10 and retain 8?
No, they're gonna retain 8 and they'll add 4.
They're gonna lose 6.
No, they'll,
Retain 8 of the 18?
those,
If they have 18 and they're only retaining 8, that's where they're coming up with the
they
10.
wouldn't have, no, they wouldn't have to lay 8 people off is how I take that.
Okay.
So they'd be adding 4,
How many total jobs will they have when they're done?
I take it to be 22. When we hear from other factories saying they're, well, there's no business owners in here, when they say they're retaining so many jobs, we count that. I mean, I don't consider those people fired, we don't deduct it off of
Retaining,
their.
to me, means that if you've got 18 people right now and you retain that, you still have 18.
You're retaining 18 and
Yeah.
adding 4 or whatever.
Yes, yes.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I need to say that. Do we have anything in our
Well-
revolving loan fund that suggests they have to have so many new employees if we give them the money?
We have a suggested amount, 25,000 per job created, I believe.
So this
It's in our revolving.
I mean, everything else,
wouldn't meet that though, under those circumstances.
I feel very good about this
yeah,
loan.
based on the meeting and all the stuff they presented, I think this is one of the more.
It's a good loan.
No-brainers.
They did let me know, I made a note on here, I'm trying to think who I think I spoke to Dennis Miller, because I asked Dennis who was getting the paperwork around this, and we're also supposed to have personal guarantees on this, which it doesn't state in the minutes. Dennis Miller verified there were supposed to be personal guarantees. You see it, Cheryl? Okay. And, oh, there it is, okay. And Dennis Miller told me that they don't plan to start construction until the spring, so they're not gonna ask for the money or any paperwork to be done till spring, so nothing's
We'll still need
happened.
to pass, or vote, I'll bring a resolution back, we can vote on it here, and then when they're ready, we can do the documents.
That'd be great, Cheryl, if you wanna put that on the next agenda, that'd be great. Any other questions about the revolving loan committee minutes or anything? Then you have park board minutes, water sewer committee meeting minutes, street light and property minutes put on the table tonight, I think.
There's 2 sets of those, Mayor.
All right, 2 sets of those, yes there are.
And Mayor, may I interrupt?
You certainly may.
On streetlight and property, this set of the minutes, the small type, it brought to my attention that last year, at some time, I believe it was last year, we approved, as Diane was our clerk at the time, we approved to allow her to do some small-time remodeling, fixing up, kind of sharpening this building up a little bit. And nothing happened. We've moved on. We've put in a new mayor. We've done different things. And Diane spoke with me the other day and said, "Can I still do that?" I said, "Well, let's talk it over what you want to do and your timeframes, and Kent can get us some numbers, and we'll address it, bring it back to council, and we can get another, yes, you can do it, so that there's no gray area." So at this time, I would like to entertain anybody that wants to ask questions about this, and we'll discuss this, and when we're done discussing it, I would like to have a vote to assure Diane that she can go ahead and...
There was money budgeted for that.
She's got $16,000 in her budget for that, yes.
This is a Kent project, not a Diane project.
Well, Diane spearheaded it. Okay, I'm sorry.
Can I rebut that?
No.
This overall project's gonna be more than 16,000 though, isn't it? From what I can tell. Doors, windows, I would guess.
It's going to be nip and tuck, yes. One thing that I want to address, if you go around to the different villages, county seats, any place you want to go, Defiance, Bryan, Antwerp, anywhere, you can't walk in and just go anywhere in the building you want to. Joe Blow can't do that. And we've got people coming in, walking clear to the back to talk with our water and our tax people. The 2 areas that you're probably going to have somebody, a disgruntled customer, they're clear back there in the dark hall. We wanted to bring Dawn up and set her in the front, where we pull the gate across, put a door, so that if you walk in that front door and you want to see the mayor, you ask Dawn if the mayor's available. You don't just walk in her office and sit down while she's got 3 people she's sitting there talking to. That doesn't happen anymore. We kind of act like we're, and the back door will be locked. You will only enter the back door with a key.
Were there, in your vision, you still see an open office for committee meetings and state audits and those kind of things?
Not up there.
But in the building?
In the back, yes, yes, yes. So I would like to entertain anybody's thoughts, questions?
When you talk about moving offices up front, you're just talking about Dawn's position? or-
Dawn and
Tax.
Didn't it used to be that way?
Yes.
I mean, opening up that window again?
Yes.
How Cheryl, Don, how they feel.
Dawn is not for it at all. She doesn't want to go to that smaller quarters.
And she did bring up a good point the other day, I don't know if she mentioned it, by moving all of them up there, and I understand the privacy for the tax and all that. during tax season, when everybody's working on taxes, how are you gonna maintain that privacy? Right now, they got 3 separate offices and closed doors.
I was not in on the committee meeting and the discussion of it all. I was,
We're only gonna deal with one person at a time, tax-wise.
Yeah.
Well, no, but all 3 ladies do it. You guys aren't here during tax season, no offense.
You're right.
You don't
I
see the number of
am,
people.
I am.
Yeah,
And they take you in there, they don't do anything. They take you in there, they said, I'm gonna close the door or anything.
there's 2 separate offices that you can go into and sit and
Yeah.
have your taxes prepared.
So it's gonna be no.
Moving them up there, I don't know where you'll have a privacy for the second tax preparer. I don't know, I'm not against it, but
no, but I thought that was the reason for moving
Couldn't you still
up
do
there,
just
so you
taxes
can
back
shut the
here?
door and nobody can hear anything going on.
Can't you do just taxes back here, have the tax ladies back here?
You got people back and forth constantly.
Well, that's the problem this building has had since its inception was, I don't care what room you're in, I can hear what you're doing in there when I'm
Right.
standing in the hall.
Well, we talked about at one point, and we even had drawings made at one point, of making office space in the old fire hall.
Yep.
Now, Diane, if I'm not mistaken, between election and you formally taking office, I thought you told me that you wanted to be open, you wanted to have access, or the public to have access to you. Because we talked about moving that office, and you wanted it right where it was, so the public could come see you.
well, I don't have a problem with with the public having access to me all the time, but I don't care if I move to the back in the office by myself. I don't care. I'm not worried about the public getting to me. That doesn't worry me.
I just remember you and I having that conversation at some point last November, December-ish.
We had that conversation when I was,
And I can tell, if I call Diane, I can tell when you have somebody in your office, your voice changes. And conversation's got to close up a little bit, or, we stop usually, because I can tell by, is somebody there? Yep. Boom.
I'm not saying it's not an open door, but when you walk in and you say, I'd like to see the mayor has 3 people in their office.
the only problem I can see with that is it's gonna be too cramped up front. Just by the way this building's laid out.
There's more room up front in that little small meeting room and the room behind it and the room where the girl would sit. There's more room there than she's got in that little pie-shaped deal. But
All the time.
I will not sit and argue about this.
No, we aren't
Brought it
arguing.
forward.
Here's a question. What would happen if you just used this room and made us go to the back and use part of the fire hall and change the council chambers around a little bit?
The main thing that the committee was thinking, and I have always thought, is for God's sakes, don't put any more money in this building. It is completely wrong. It's like a barn. When the barn was built back in the turn of the century, there was a use for a barn. There's not a use for a barn anymore. Equipment has changed and everything's different.
Yeah, that's a good point, Ron. I just threw that out there.
Okay, we were just reiterate real quick, because we're having the tax where Cheryl is, right? It's the tax
Yes.
department. And sorry, my name's, Dawn was up front in the bigger where the table is, and then there's the little cubby office.
I thought you two said I thought you two said tax was gone in the front, since there's a metal door.
Well, wait a minute. I'm not making any claims. I'm not saying where anybody is. That's Cheryl's call.
Our thought was to put Dawn clear in the front.
I can't,
It's everything that's up there. Tax.
the assistant in the middle,
In the middle.
assistant in the middle.
Assistant in the middle.
Tax for
Tax.
Cheryl.
Because I said they won't be able to reuse the window that's in the mayor's office now.
Window for
Let's
Where you used to pay your water.
let's go to the drawing board about what Cheryl wants and bring it back, okay? I get the impression
I would
you're,
have swore to God, she was the one that took us through the building and told us what she wanted.
okay, well, we don't know what she is thinking today, so what I'd like to do, if it's all right with you, is I get the impression you're okay with some changes, providing the offices are moved up front.
I was just trying to better things. If you take $16,000, burn it up any way you want to do it, I don't care.
Okay. We will have Cheryl come up with a some sort of notes or something to let us know what her plan is. And
It's all right.
Why did we waste our time going through and doing this?
I don't think what you did was a waste of time. It's still on the board.
We've stopped it, we've got to go back to Cheryl?
It's still on the board. Are you saying that you want to make the call of where everybody's offices are? Is that what you're saying?
Nope.
Okay.
Thought we discussed it all the day that we walked through it. Didn't you think we did that?
Yeah, I thought we were all on the same page.
Yeah.
Has anything changed, Cheryl?
Everything always changes.
From the day you walked through it, has anything changed in your mind?
The only thing I disagree with, remember I said text has to be in the front. It has to be secure.
Do whatever y'all want to do. Move on, let's go.
All right.
All right. So then we have the administrator's report, please.
I'll get to the biggest thing first. General pickups next week. Evidently, there's some people that must have flunked English because there's a lot of people putting their stuff already this week. Ad in the paper states it clearly, the flyer states it clearly. But anyway, it's not till next week. And they're setting out stuff we're not gonna take anyway, so they maybe should reread the ad. I guess the top items where we did receive that loan from OWDA to help pay some of the sewer expenses. We did get the 0.2% interest for 30 years. So it makes the yearly payment not too extraordinary. We'll probably be revisiting with them once Haver Drive and the South Main South Bryan project go out to bid, so we'll be borrowing some more. The North Water Tower, we did drain the North Tower today, filled up the South Tower so that we can get all the bacteria testing and stuff out of the way. But the plan still is on September 19th for the South Tower to start being in service. And there's going to be flyers here at City Hall. I have to be posted on the website. There's going to be a notice in the Tribune. People are going to have low water pressure in quite a few parts of town. They just need to be prepared for that. It's going to take a few weeks to get the North Tower stuff done, so be aware of that. Village auctions this Saturday at 9 o'clock. Anybody that wants to help, more than welcome. Troy's going to do the third reading of the van tonight, and I've asked, since we're going to have that on the auction, if after you do the third reading, then if you would pass it as an emergency, just so we can get it on there. My trip last week for BWC is really nothing. Then I added the last page today, just because their deadline for the applications was Friday. Interviews for janitor position will start next Monday the 12th, and hoping to start the sewer interviews then on the 19th. Talked to the MHT today, Clearview or Haver Drive project. They're hoping to get to me by the end of the week so it can start being advertised. So sometime here in October should have that bid open. I've been working with Conrad on our insurance renewal. Since I didn't hear any different, I thought people were fine with just re-upping with them. Once he gets me further information, I'll pass it on. He can take a vote. It'll either be this meeting or the very first one in October. And there again, if you don't want to accept it, you're kind of up the creek. But anyway, you've got the option to vote no. I think it's a couple days I'm out of town in the upcoming future. That's it.
We should have a contract.
Oh.
Ken, are there going to be any easements needed for the Clearview Haver Drive project?
Nope.
All right, thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Kent regarding this administrative report? Thank you. Solicitor's report, please.
First thing I have is Resolution 2016-13, third reading by caption only. A resolution of the Village of Hicksville, Ohio, authorizing the sale of a 1999 Ford cargo van, which is unneeded, obsolete, or unfit, and as Kent mentioned, declaring an emergency. That's also can be sold. Yeah.
Second.
We have a motion to suspend the rules and a second roll call, please.
Baker?
Yes.
Beverly?
Sure.
Jones?
Yes.
Barr?
Yes.
Headley?
Yes.
Kratzky?
Yeah.
So we make a motion to, that was the third reading already, so.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the third reading. Roll call, please.
Kratzky?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Headley?
Yes.
Beverly?
Sure.
Barr?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Next is second reading of Resolution 2016-17 by caption only, a resolution to enter into an agreement with the Defiance County Commissioners for the recovery of monies expended for providing legal counsel to indigent persons for the calendar year 2017. And then next, what was, Cheryl had on the agenda, the next two things, 2016-15 amended and 16 amended. I had a discussion with her earlier today and told her that we should, since those had already passed, we needed to redo them as far as the numbers. So those will actually be, the first one will be Resolution 2016-19, a resolution of the Village of Hicksville, Ohio, amending Resolution 2016-15 to remove some bills to be forwarded to the Defiance County Auditor to assess and enter as delinquent water and sewer bills on the tax duplicate of the properties described in Exhibit A and declaring an emergency. Evidently, there was one or more people two people that came in and paid, so in order to keep them off the list or whatever, that amended, so that'll need suspend the rules and pass tonight.
So move.
Second.
We have a first and second to suspend the rules. Roll call, please.
Baker?
Yes.
Barr?
Yes.
Beverly? Headley?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Kratzky?
Yes.
Second and third readings of Resolution 2016-19 by caption only, resolution of the Village of Hicksville, Ohio, amending Resolution 2016-15 to remove some bills to be forwarded to the Defiance County Auditor to assess and enter as delinquent water and sewer bills on the tax duplicate of the properties described in Exhibit A and declaring an emergency.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, first and a second approving the second and third reading by caption only. Roll call, please.
Baker?
Yes.
Beverly?
Sure.
Jones?
Yes.
Barr?
Yes.
Headley?
Yes.
Kratzky?
Yes.
And then Resolution 2016-20, first reading by caption only, a resolution of the Village of Hicksville, Ohio, amending Resolution 2016-16 to include additional bills to be forwarded to the Defiance County Auditor to assess and enter the delinquent cost of weed and grass mowing on the tax duplicate of the properties described in Exhibit A and declaring an emergency. And like it says, I don't know how many, there's a couple extra that have to be added to the list that we already passed.
But nobody's come in and paid what?
Right. Yeah, this one's an addition, the water sewer bill was a subtraction.
I move we suspend the rules.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Kratzky?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Headley?
Yes.
Beverly?
Sure.
Barr?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
So then second and third reading of Resolution 2016-20 by caption only, a resolution of the Village of Hicksville, Ohio, amending Resolution 2016-16 to include additional bills to be forwarded to the Defiance County Auditor to assess and enter the delinquent cost of weed and grass mowing on the tax duplicate of the properties described in Exhibit A and declaring an emergency.
So move.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Barr?
Yes.
Headley?
Yes.
Kratzky?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Beverly?
Sure.
Baker?
Yes.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Stick with the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there is a motion. You get this every year. On one side, it shows you what, and Troy, I'll let, while you're looking for your paper.
I got it right here.
Yeah, the county auditor always tells us what our share of the local government percentage is gonna be and what they estimate that value to be.
And so it looks like it's 6.9% and it's estimated at almost $74,000. So if you're willing to accept that, and I guess that's one of those things too, if you don't accept it, I don't think there's much you can do about it, so.
I don't think so either.
I move we accept the money.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Baker,
Yes.
Barr,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes?
Beverly,
Sure.
Kratzky.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
All right. Moving along with the agenda, we go to the department heads. We have Police Chief Ballinger, please.
Mayor and council, with the resignation of Zach Miller here a month ago, got the okay from the mayor and to hire someone. We took applications and we got several good applications this time, in my opinion. We had 4 that I felt very comfortable with after interviewing them. The one that we decided to go with would be Zach Erb. This is Zach right here. He currently has worked with Stryker Police Department part-time, and with council's approval, I would like to hire him full-time. I don't know, do you need, like, to vote on this right now, or?
Yes.
'Cause I want to introduce the other 3.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and vote on this.
Okay.
Could you spell his last name, please?
ERB.
ERB.
Yeah, Zachary Erb.
Okay.
I spelled it right.
I'll make a motion that we hire Zachary Erb for a full-time police officer position pending the physical and drug screen and all the police pension paperwork.
Yeah, he would have to pass the Ohio Police and Fire physical, which is a lot more extensive. I've checked on backgrounds and all of them are very, I mean,
I would make a motion to accept the mayor's recommendation to hire Zachary based on the qualifications needed to fulfill the job.
Second.
Bukowski, second. Roll call, please.
Baker,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Kratzky.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Beverly,
Sure.
Barr,
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
And then next, I've talked to the mayor and the Police and Fire Committee. Every time we have to hire somebody, we have to hire them blind. I mean, it's like, you can't ask a lot on, from past employers. They don't have to give you very much information, and when you call the references, I'm not saying they're not correct, but you just don't know what you're getting. So I talked over with the mayor and the Police and Fire Committee and about having more part-time people. Of course, Bob is part-time, and we have 2 former police officers that is part-time, and I can't see either one of them ever going back to wanting a full-time position. So I thought we could boost the part-time help we got and get them into our system so they could learn how things are done in Hicksville. And the next time we have somebody resign, we got somebody to choose from that, first of all, they're familiar with the system that we use, familiar with the village.
You know them a little better.
Yeah.
Chief, didn't we just do this with our female officer? Wasn't she hired as a
We
part-time?
did, yes. She was, that's the way I got in, 35 plus years
Yeah,
ago.
we've been thinking
I
about
worked part-time for 6 months and they had an opening and I
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I think.
And so, with that being said, the other 3 gentlemen, only 2 of them's here. The third one is a second shift dispatcher in Paulding. And he had to work tonight, he couldn't make it. But I would like to present Mason Hammond and Shane Bostic, these 2 gentlemen here. And then the third one would be Brandon Shurik. See if we could get those on part-time. Like I say, everybody's done with their schooling and OPATA certified. They would have to take a physical, but just a village physical. It wouldn't be the police and fire. It's not as extensive and it's not as expensive. They have their own equipment. We would have to buy uniforms for them. So it would possibly a vest or 2.
I
So,
was right, I'm sorry.
no, which one's Mason Hammond?
This is Mason.
Okay. Shane Bosnick?
Bostic.
Bostic, okay. And who was the third person?
Brandon Shurik. He's been a dispatcher at Paulding Sheriff's Office for a couple of years now.
Chief, I was writing when you were talking, did you say that they are OPATA certified?
Yeah, each one of them are. Yes.
Solicitor Essex, is it appropriate for me to recommend all three at one time?
That's fine.
Okay. So,
How many hours are you thinking
Well,
part-time?
that's the only bad thing about part-time with a village is we only use them when we absolutely need them. And, well, here lately, with the past 2 or 3 years, we've had people off with knee injuries. Garrett just got back from breaking his foot. One of our officers had pneumonia a couple times within the past year. That's basically the only time we ever use part-time. But I made it perfectly clear to them that they're welcome to come and ride, and if they get called, then we'd have to pay them. But yeah, we use our part-time very, very little, which is to their disadvantage, but they're willing to come and, put their time in, and yeah, yes.
Which is good.
Yeah, and that way we'd have a pool to choose from. It just makes sense to me,
I think it's a great idea.
are there any other questions from any council members for the chief? Well, I'm really pleased that you gentlemen are interested in the position. I would recommend that we hire Mason Hammond, Shane Bosnick, and Brandon Sherrick for part-time positions with the Hicksville Police Department.
I would support the mayor's recommendation by making the motion we follow her lead.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Kratzky?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Headley?
Yes.
Beverly? Park?
Yes.
Baker?
Yes.
Bob, since you're president, I'd like to thank you for your service and your help to the Hicksville Police Department. When we need you, that's really nice to have you nearby and handy to call upon, too.
Okay, I just got a couple other things. Recently, our hard drive, our backup system went out on our computer, and we had in the budget $7,000 to get a new one this year, and plus, it would also be Bob Aaron's labor bill on top of that. We are under contract with HP, and they replaced the one hard drive on the one side of the backup. And so that didn't cost us anything. And apparently in a backup, and I'm not computer smart by any means, they have 2 hard drives. One actually backs the system up, and I don't know what the other does. But the old one had 160 megabytes or gigabytes, I don't know. Well, they don't even make them anymore. They didn't have like 320 or 500, so they had to put 1,000 in there. So therefore, that might last us for another couple of years. But then you have to deal with the remaining hard drive. And Bob said he could replace that hard drive for $350 plus parts. And I just think it's a wise move just to have him replace the other side. We might be able to get 2 more years out of this. So that's what I'm going to have him do. I mean, I just wanted to fill you in. I mean, this just makes sense to me. So, save the village some money there. Just to let you know that. And we've still been writing a lot of tickets in our problem areas, so you know, speeding tickets, which the mayor will find out Thursday in court.
Are we seeing a lot of speeding tickets on Spencerville Street where the complaints?
Some, yeah. And also some from Case-Brett Miller there, that stretch. So.
Chief, I've heard comments that the residents are happy to see the police out and sitting around and slowing traffic down. And I would just like to say that anything that you can do to get your officers out and visible in the community and known person to person with our business people and residents, there's a lot of new people on our force, and be nice for the public to get to know them also.
Yeah.
And you and I have had that conversation as well, and I understand the thinking behind not getting too personal, but at the very least, I think we could have some pictures in the paper and just introductions to the community. People are going to know Shane for sure, but they're not going to know the other gentleman, so.
Yeah, we can do that. I mean, I'm sure Jan would work with us.
And I understand the constraints on that as well. I mean, I certainly understand.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
Thank you. Welcome aboard. Okay, I believe in our fire chief's absence, we have Assistant Chief Bruce Hart, please. Do you have anything?
Just our barbecue.
You'll want that heard.
Our annual barbecue will be Saturday evening from 4 o'clock to whenever we get done. This year, we're going to do baked potatoes and a whole bunch of stuff different this year, so it's going to be a pretty good meal.
This Saturday?
This Saturday, yep.
Chicken, I was told.
I'm sorry?
Chicken, I was told.
Yes, chicken,
Okay.
yep. So, that's all I have.
Thank you. And we have EMS Chief Lonnie here, and she's shaking her head that she doesn't have anything. Thank you for coming. Okay, any other department heads? All right. So we are to the fiscal officer's report. Cheryl, please.
I have several reports in the cash month-to-date statement, the tax receipts, and the July MediaCom franchise fee payment.
Did you share that with the Cable TV Committee also? You will want to. Or at least Bill, and he can pass it on.
I also have 2 reports from Julie. One is for the mayor's court, and one is for the police department. Their fines and police support costs.
Cheryl, on the statement of cash, I see where we're still backwards on the police pension. I know we passed that the last meeting we had. We did the third reading. So 30 days, it'll be taken care of. We'll be out of the hole. Good.
Well, since we're at the mayor's report, I wrote myself some notes today. It was brought to my attention that the parking at the football game was in our Veterans Memorial grass and everywhere else. And I think our residents know better than to do that, and I don't really know who did it, but to our community out there, please try to pay attention to the signs that are at the park and park at appropriate places. And I think there's even some cement things down on the ground to kind of keep people out of it, but evidently that didn't work so well. And,
Crowd.
How
yeah.
did they enter?
They come in and
Drove down,
Where the elementary school used to
or they
be?
were driving down,
the other way.
cutting where the parking block's in, and cutting through that grass and coming up and parking.
Because I noticed about half of them were correct, and then closer you got down.
They circle around too.
People just drive where they want to drive.
They drive right over some cement and big trucks.
There was a big attendance to the game.
Oh, yeah.
They were parked 3-4 deep,
It might be such too.
more than I've seen before.
Correct. There needs to be some education, maybe some police presence or something to kind of
Or some guiding, some, a lot of schools, and I don't know that we always have the crowd that we had Friday night, but a lot of schools have people out there guiding
Yeah.
people where to park, so, and that's gonna have to be a school issue, I would guess.
Yeah, I don't expect our police department to do that.
Correct.
Our fire department used to do that. I don't believe they do anymore, do they?
No, we've never been asked to associate with it.
well, something maybe.
5-10 years, we haven't been doing that.
It really worked out good when they were on that.
I know in the park board minutes, they stated they needed to address some parking on the grass and some signs and stuff,
That might be a
so
way to fix it.
I don't know, but,
Perhaps a call to the superintendent might solve all kinds of problems.
yeah, I don't know, but I would like to see people park in appropriate places, so. Another thing that was brought to my attention is the situation where our general pickup's coming up and people have already taken their trash out along the roads way too early, and there's out-of-town residents that are bringing trash in, and I would just like anybody that observes someone hauling trash to someone's house in town to call the police department and get a license plate number and report them, and we'll take it from there, because out-of-town people are not supposed to be bringing their items into town to drop off at houses for a general pickup. So, John Miller attended a meeting this afternoon regarding the industrial park extension out to 49, and he wants to get started on figuring out how much it's going to cost water and sewer lines on out to State Route 49 and back into town. So unless, if you have any objections to that, talk to Kent. I don't really see any problem with going ahead and finding out what it's going to cost us. We're going to have to do it eventually, so. And that's all I have. If, does anybody else have anything that anybody in the audience want to address anything? Okay, no council members? Then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I would make a motion to adjourn. Mayor?
We have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Baker? Yes. Beverly? Jones?
Yes.
Barth?
Yes. Yes, yes.